Hey everybody, welcome back to One Seed, One World. So today we're going to talk about building a garden bed out of retaining blocks. Or actually, what we're going to talk about today is how not to build one out of retaining blocks. The improper way, which I did, and now I have to redo a bunch of stuff. So let's cover the first thing that comes up a lot with concerns if you are using like concrete blocks or retaining blocks when it comes to gardening and possible, leaching of chemicals and that sort of thing into your soil, organic growing and all that sort of thing. So your general retaining block walls these days are considered pretty much safe for if you're growing herbs or vegetables in your garden. One problem that you could run into with using concrete retaining block, these brick things, with a garden is that they can over time leach out lime, which is, hang on, gotta look up the name again, the official, chemical name. Calcium hydroxide is what lime is. And over time, that can leach out into your soil, which raises the pH of the soil. So if you have acid-loving plants, it could throw off the pH of the soil and cause them to struggle. The one thing that you have to be careful of is if you're going to use recycled blocks that are much older, like if you're getting them from an old construction site, you're trying to save some money. Maybe you've got like something that you've torn down in your old building or something you've torn down, you want to reuse those blocks to build a garden bed. Some of those old blocks would have things like chromium in them, or fly ash, which is a coal byproduct. And those are more like what would be considered heavy metals that can leach out into the soils, be absorbed by your plants, and be a little bit more harmful both to the plants and something like you don't want to ingest heavy metals. So the way to avoid that is to purchase new blocks and not get stuff from like the 50s, from old, recycled stuff. That's the one thing you have to be careful with, the recycled stuff. And then also, because especially with new blocks with the leaching of the lime, and that can affect the nutrient uptake or reduce the nutrients that are in your soil, you want to use a compost heavy soil and maybe add some additional organic fertilizers and make sure that your plants are well fed. And that will counteract and balance out any leaching of the lime that may affect the pH of the soil. You can control that fairly easily. So yesterday I got a load of dirt delivered, and I had already purchased 120 of these retaining wall blocks. And I was kind of rushing last night to get things done. I'm already behind in multiple things with the garden, and so I wanted to get this herb garden done. Well, I didn't get any of the dirt in here, and that's actually a good thing because I put the whole thing together wrong because I wasn't paying attention and was rushing through. So let's take a look here. Now, it depends on the type of retaining wall blocks you get, but like these ones that I got that have these rounded fronts, and they look kind of cool from the outside, but they have this locking lip. Well, this should be facing down so that it can lock onto the block below it. And I didn't do that. I put them all upside down. I was just stacking stuff, running around and stacking everything, so they're all upside down. So now I got to take them all down and redo them. And out of the 120 blocks, I used 105 to make this, I think. So that's 120. Yeah, it's really funny. I've got to take all these 105 blocks down and flip them over. The only good thing is at least they are all up here now, and I don't have to wheel them in a wheelbarrow 10 at a time from the driveway area, which they're kind of heavy when you're doing them. So at least they're here. That's one good thing. All right, so a couple other tips, and this can be a personal choice, but if you want to do it properly, what you want to do is measure out your area and figure out how many blocks that you have and how they fit in the area, whether you're doing a circle or a square or a rectangle, and make sure that you have as many layers high as you want and all that. I kind of did that, but I did it super rough, and I actually ended up with like 15 left over, which is fine. I can use them for other stuff. Secondly, my ground's on a slope here, so this side where I'm sitting here or squatting here is quite a bit lower than the higher end. So I had to dig out a trench to kind of level it up a bit. Now the proper way to do this would actually be to dig out your trench and then use a level to make sure that it's level all the way around. I didn't do that either. I just kind of guesstimated, and while it's much more level than it would have been if I just laid it all on top of the ground, it still has a little bit of a slant. Although the slant's worse because I have all my blocks upside down and they're all sitting on the locking lip thing here on the back, whereas if they were flipped over, they would be more level. So a little bit of this will be fixed as I change this around. Also, just because over time, especially if you're going to keep your blocks or your bed there for a while, you're going to have settling, you're going to have ground heave if you're in a colder place where the ground freezes and thaws over winter. So it would be actually better to dig it down farther, put a layer of gravel, make sure that's all level with your gravel, your light stone, and then start laying your bricks out over that. Yeah, I didn't do that either. I just kind of dug a little bit of a trench, got it kind of what I thought was level enough, and then just started throwing blocks in there. And that brings me to my last point is you can, now these will lock together and you don't have to use mortar and that sort of thing if you lay them out properly. But if you really want it, like if you know that you're going to have this bed here forever and you want a permanent space, then take the time to dig out your trench, level it out, add the gravel, and then you could use a little bit of mortar in between to help make sure all the blocks are solid. But if it's something that you think you might want to move after time, then you don't have to worry about that, because especially if it's like 2, 3, or 4 blocks high, there's going to be a lot of weight behind it with the locking lip. They're going to stay in place. And what you're going to want to also do, which I've done poorly here, but it doesn't matter because I'm taking it apart. But when you're doing your blocks, as you're putting them up, you want the gaps between the blocks to then be overlaid, centered out with the next one, so that your block on top kind of covers that whole middle section, and then will they will help hold them together. Now you can't tell here because I have them all upside down, but this is just to give you an idea of how the layout would work, so that they will lock together, and with the next layer overlapping the gap that helps tie the 2 blocks together, and will kind of help hold everything in place. But my only last safety note would be, when you're dealing with these blocks, wear some gloves, because concrete blocks can, if you haven't worked with it before, can be really rough on your hands, tear up your hands. And so wearing gloves will save you a lot of heartache in the future and keep your hands smooth and supple. Okay, so I have all the blocks stacked back up again. So let's do a quick recap. Did I get all my dimensions figured out? And is it all now straightened up? No. Is it perfectly level from the slope ground and from top to bottom? Also, no. It is much more level than it was though. And some of my corners that were originally kind of janky and sketchy are much more solid now. It doesn't move. I can walk on it, unlike I would not have been comfortable doing that earlier today. It didn't take as long as I thought to get this redone, probably because I wasn't going for perfection. I wasn't redigging the trench, I wasn't putting in gravel, I wasn't perfecting anything. I was just flipping over the blocks and then relaying everything out. But it's much more solid than it was. Now, I'm done much more earlier than I thought I was going to be, but I'm still not moving any dirt tonight. I'm exhausted between moving all the blocks out of the driveway last night and doing it once and then flipping them all over and restacking them all again tonight. I think I will save the dirt moving for tomorrow. Overall, I bought more blocks than I needed. This whole bed cost me, I think, about $230 for the blocks. And I know that's kind of expensive, but actually that's cheaper than building some of the larger wood beds that I have right now with the price of wood. And these will last forever, so it's kind of a one-time cost. Even if you decide to not use this, the bed that you build anymore, the blocks are still going to be good. You can move them somewhere else into the yard, build another bed with them sometime later. You're always going to have them. They're not going to rot away. So there is that. And this bed is about approximately like 7 by 7 or 6.5 by 7. I had originally planned on it being a little bit bigger and one layer lower, but as I laid stuff out, I decided to go slightly a smaller width and length. So that's why I ended up with extra blocks that I probably wouldn't have to pay for. If I took away the blocks that I didn't need, I might have saved myself like 40 or 50 bucks, but I can use those blocks somewhere else. So you figure on a 6 by 6 bed, 7 by 7 bed, on blocks this size, you're looking at about $200. But there's other blocks, stones that are cheaper. You don't have to go as high as I did. You could do it, like these are 4 high. You could do it 3 high, and really you could do it 2 high. And if you wanted to spend the $200, but not build them as high, you could get 2 beds out of it. So, just work with what's in your budget. Do what works for you. Anyway, this is how not to build a garden bed out of retaining blocks. So hopefully something in this you will find helpful and not have to do all the extra work that I did. Thanks for hanging out with me again today, and I hope whatever's going on in your garden and in your neck of the woods is working out fantastic for you, and that you are having a fantastic 2025 gardening season that is requiring less lifting, hauling, and carrying than what I've done. But I hope you're having a great day. We will see you again soon. Namaste.